What the fuck is that? What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey Shakes M2 coming, guys, with a video right now. So I don't know what the hell is up with some of these teams and who is in control of their social media, but holy crap, guys! Like, what is this? The Washington Commanders are just embarrassing themselves, not only from their incompetent owner that we've been hearing all this stuff about for months or even years, but posting crap like this. What is this supposed to be? Is that supposed to be Carson Wentz showing up to his first day? I mean, he's got the bonus hair. He's a prima donna. You know, he doesn't have to touch the football. He doesn't want to. So, I mean, maybe that's him. I'm not really sure. But I just thought that was really funny. I mean, everyone got a big laugh. I mean, everyone, anybody else in the NFC East or the rest of the league can laugh at this because whoever did this should be fired. If I even saw the Eagles post anything like this, I don't know what to even say. But yeah, it's pretty alarming. But to go into other news that's pretty important, I heard some news from Seth Joyner today and talked about Fletcher Cox, and I was like, oh, let me watch this. So Fletcher Cox and talked about him and just said, you know, when he's ready to play and when he wants to show up, he's a great player. And, you know, it really, and I hope to God that Fletcher Cox isn't the type of guy that shows up when he wants to. I understand when you lose some games. I understand, like, going to another game. And, you know, I don't know how these players think mentally. I mean, everyone should have somewhat of the same mentality going to every single game. Clean slate every single game, no matter how good or bad it is going. But I hope to God that Fletcher Cox doesn't take plays off. I hope that hasn't happened the past couple years, especially last year, because I thought it was embarrassing. I think he's been descending the past couple years, and I understand everyone's going to tell me in the comments section, well, you know, he had this big thing with Jonathan Gannon using him for screen passes. Whatever the case may be, guys, like, he's not doing that 100% of the game, okay? We need to be realistic with this. He's not going after screen passes. You know, he's not, every time there's a screen pass, he's not going to be on the screen pass and going to back up from the line. He's not doing that every single play. We all know this, but we see this guy trying to get into the backfield. Even after week 4 or 5 of the season, when teams were like, you know what, blocking Fletcher Cox and taking him out of the play is so much easier. Okay, then, you know, we could just double Javon Hargrave, and that's pretty much what happened. Hargrave, you know, could have hit a double-digit sacks this year. He had like 8 or 9 sacks and could have played a lot better, but obviously, you know, the edge on his side was not freeing him up, and we couldn't get our defensive ends to be more productive. And not even just that, Brandon Graham was hurt, not even helping Fletcher Cox, and Fletcher Cox just could not help himself, unfortunately. You know, Fletcher Cox has been one of my favorite players for a long time, but obviously the past couple of years have been, you know, I've been noticing like he hasn't been the same as he used to be back, you know, late 2000s, you know, even back, you know, 2015, 2016, you always saw Fletch, and he was always just a pivotal monster in this defensive line. And unfortunately, he just hasn't done anything. And I understand. And look, I'm kind of glad that the Eagles might be moving on, and I most likely they are 100%. I don't think Fletcher Cox is coming back this year. I think that's safe to say. They released him, they brought him back, they put him on that $13-14 million fully guaranteed contract to kind of play it out and have a prove a year for himself to sign with another team, because honestly, that's why we signed Jordan Davis. At the end of the day, Hargrave and Fletch are going to be gone after this year. I think Hargrave's getting an extension. They saved that $12 to $13 million in cap space for next year. And, you know, Fletch is going to be gone. Jordan Davis becomes your next defensive tackle next to Javon Hargrave for the future. Okay, and obviously behind that with Milton Williams, you know, you have some good prospects. You know, and I want to see a big jump from him as well. But when it comes down to it, I really hope that this isn't, you know, how players get when they play for a long time. They start to, once they run into a bad coach. I'm not saying that Gannon's a bad defensive coordinator so far. I mean, he hasn't really panned out to be anything special yet. You know, I give him a pass just because he didn't have the pieces he needed. But I have to say, pretty much a huge fail for me, because he played the same way every single game and made the same adjustments. We've had the same problems defensively the first half of every single game. And then when he fixes those problems in the second half, we go backwards to the next game again and again and again. I mean, look, you always have to make adjustments in the second half. Every team does it. but the same adjustments every single game, the same issues that we see with our own two eyes on the screen or whether you're at the game every single game. That's a problem. I'm not going to say that 100% of it's on Fletch, but I'd say 85 to 90% is, just because he's not going after screens every play. He's not doing anything else. He's not in pass coverage. You understand? They're not moving him to defensive end, which I thought they did that a couple times. They try to move these defensive tackles around just a little bit. They didn't do it enough, but it is what it is. They have more contain on the outside, since losing Brandon Graham was huge, last year, and really missed that voice and really that just the leadership standpoint of this defense, which we don't even have a leader yet. And hopefully we get one this year and someone speaks up. And I know Brandon Graham is definitely one of them, because he doesn't stop running his mouth the whole game, and that's great. But Fletch, some of these players, when they get older in their careers, they start to get picky about the scheme and it's not fitting them. And when their development starts going down, they start to get a little, defensive, because it's kind of embarrassing for them to not play how they used to play, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I totally understand that. But, hopefully Fletch wasn't taking plays off last year. I mean, the last thing I want to hear is Fletch, we'll see it. We'll see it on the screen. We'll see it on TV. If Fletch is getting single blocked almost every play, or he's just not panning out, and I don't even care about sacks, but do something. Help out the guy next to you. I don't care what it is. Okay. This is going to run its course until he's off this team, okay? And that's just it. I give much respect to him for the career he's had here, but after this year, they're pulling the plug, and that's pretty much it. So I want to know from you guys, do you think Fletcher Cox took off plays on purpose last year? Do you think he just doesn't have it anymore? This is definitely one of the players I'm keeping an eye on. I'm not just making this video just because I don't hate Fletcher Cox. He's been one of my favorite players for years, but definitely one player I'm looking at to really have a better year, especially on a contract year, is going to be Fletcher Cox. Okay, he's a starter. And let me tell you something, like if Jordan Davis plays better, Milton Williams plays better by a landslide every single game, and statistically they just look better. It doesn't have to be statistically, but Jesus Christ, if I just see a better player, I'm moving Fletch into that second rotation. You know what I mean? If that's the case, you know what I mean? That's what I would do. Okay. If Fletch is just not panning out, and and teams are just running down our throats, and Fletch is getting taken out of the play nonstop, which hopefully it doesn't, because now with Hassan Reddick on the edge next to Hargrave and Brandon Graham coming back and hopefully staying healthy, we won't have these problems. So Fletch's play won't look as bad as it did last year. Okay. So that's all I really got to say about it. I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and definitely let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. And I will see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.